Welcome to Combat Zone 360, where we discuss everything military. Today on our show, our guest is Sergeant Schambug. Thank you for joining me today.
It's my pleasure, Jay.
Yes. Now, what I usually do is I like to have our veterans that come on the show really explain to us about where they were born, how they grew up, what they've done throughout their childhood. And then from there, we'll definitely touch base on your military career. So if you could start us off with that.
Sure, Jay. So I was born in New Jersey, and my parents and family moved to India. So I grew up in city of Mumbai, which is the west coast of India. And I did my high school, my college. I did my bachelor's degree from Mumbai. When I was about 24, I moved back to New Jersey. Before joining the Army, I was doing several other jobs, like working with the IT firm. I did some quality assurance testing. I was pretty much slightly unsatisfied with the civilian jobs.
Okay.
When I met my recruiter, he explained to me the good benefits that Army offers and how it's going to lay foundation for me for my future.
Okay.
So I pretty much made my decision like 2 days to join the Army. And I think that has been my best decision. The oath of enlistment is my memorable event in my life.
Nice.
And when I raised that hand up, my right hand up, I was really proud. And I shipped to basic training after that. And after that, it's been like 10 years, and I'm here now recruiting.
So going back on your childhood and you growing up over in India, so as a U.S. citizen being born here in this country, how was it moving to India and actually growing up there and going through the high school and the school system over there?
It was completely different for me because I had not seen the life here in the United States.
Okay.
It was completely different for me in a way that the whole culture is different there. My medium of language in the school was English, so I could converse in decent, fair English. I did also learn other languages. So one of the local languages over there is Marathi.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fluent in that language. The national language is Hindi.
Nice.
So I know that language too. And there are a couple other languages. So I have a background with like 5 different languages.
Wow.
Yeah. And that helps me in recruiting because I do meet people with different ethnicities.
Mm-hmm.
Being in New York, New York has like Punjabi speaking people, Urdu speaking people, and English again really helps me.
So it allows you to relate with them on that level also.
Absolutely, yes.
Nice. And with, going back in high school over there, I know here in the United States, we have a lot of sports. We have different clubs that our students join. So we're very active within our school. What is it like over in India when it comes to the high schools in that aspect?
Well, in India, we have a lot of sporting events. Our
Okay.
school used to take part in like volleyball matches. And a lot of other sports like sports relays and table tennis, badminton. So I used to play badminton at college level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's not being played here in this country as much.
Mm-hmm.
There are some clubs here, but there are social clubs too over there, but not the same exactly as what it's here in the United States.
And were you a part of any of those clubs over there?
I wasn't very active in most of the clubs.
Okay.
I was more like an adventure kid, so I would like camping and hiking, mountain climbing. I would do those kind of events.
Nice. So you love the outdoors. You
I love
enjoy getting
outdoors,
out
yes,
there. Nice.
absolutely.
Nice. So you moved over there as a baby,
Correct,
right, into
correct.
India. And then you moved back over here when you were 24?
Exactly, I was 24.
Okay. So you worked in the IT field. You worked in like that type of job base. What influenced you to look into the military, to join the Army?
As I said, from what my recruiter explained to me, Army provided me a solid job foundation. Because I'm a veteran, I do get veteran hiring preference. So I started with like 6 years of active duty,
Oh,
and then I transferred to Army Reserve,
okay.
and I'm back to active duty now. So I'm come with both aspects, the full time and the part time of the Army.
Yes.
Uh, so I was working with Homeland Security when I was in Army Reserves. That was my civilian job. Uh, I was working as an analyst.
Mm-hmm.
What Army gave me was a skill which I could use in the civilian side. It gave me the national security clearance, which helps me. It's like a government trust on me.
Yep.
So I use that, and I'm very responsible with my behavior, and I live a disciplined life too,
Good.
which Army actually helps me make it more firm. So keeping myself fit. We have 2 Army physical fitness tests a year, twice a year. So that basically tells me that I need to keep myself fit so that when I see people, meet people, I shouldn't look like somebody who's out of shape.
No, exactly. You're the ambassador of the Army.
Absolutely.
Out in the community, you have to look the part to be able to get somebody interested within the Army.
Absolutely.
So when you ended up joining, we talked a little bit before the show. You actually found the Army recruiter on Craigslist.
Oh yes.
Yes. So I know you were probably on Craigslist looking for other work, not figuring out, that you really knew about the Army, and you ran across it. What was in that blurb that you've read on Craigslist to make you call this guy?
So, as I said, Jay, I was working as business analyst when I was doing IT jobs. I did some quality assurance tester, so the job title goes as QA analyst.
Okay.
So that analyst term was like the keyword. So when I typed in analyst, because my recruiter was actually recruiting those who could work with the federal government.
Yep.
And that's how my life rolled really after the Army. So I actually got those kind of jobs, which basically require security clearance. So my job in the Army is geospatial intelligence analyst.
Okay.
And it perfectly lined up with me working as an analyst because I'm kind of a person who likes to apply my mind and think on a given topic.
Yeah.
So everything really worked out for me. My recruiter, in fact, gave me got me bonus.
Oh, wow.
So I signed up for 6 years, which was giving me like the max bonus. So yeah, I would say it was like destiny that wanted me to do what was going to be there for me.
No, exactly. So while you were sitting there looking on Craigslist, you ran into this job posting, and you read in there that you can be an analyst for the federal government.
Yes.
And, join the United States Army.
Perfect.
And when you saw that, you gave the gentleman a call. He talked to you about the Army, and then 2 days later, you decided, this is what I want to do. This is my life.
It is.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So during that 2 days, did you sit down and talk with your parents? Did you sit down and talk with your family members to see if this was a good choice for you, or was it all made up by yourself?
So here's how it went. My parents were in India when I was planning to join the Army. I used to live with my sister and brother-in-law. They were absolutely... My sister was more freaking out because she thought Army is not my game.
Yeah. Well, she was uneducated. She didn't know.
She didn't know much about the Army.
Yeah.
And it happens even now. I do meet some new young kids whose parents sometimes negatively influence them.
Yeah.
So I tell them my story. I tell them, you are already 18 and plus. You are an adult. You should be making your decisions. I understand your family is there to assist you, but they should not be negatively influencing you.
Yeah.
And in fact, what I tell them is not all jobs in the Army are prone to risk.
Yeah.
There are about 7 MOSs or 8, which
all
are directly
arms.
Combat arms and directly that face fire. But my job there are many other combat support jobs which require you to support the troops, combat troops.
Exactly.
So coming back to my story, my sister was freaking out about joining the army, but I was like, this is it. It's now or never. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do it because it's like my service to the country too,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not really taking part in political events, right? So why not serve the army and, like make myself feel content, like I did
Exactly.
what I was supposed to.
Exactly. You need to do what fills your heart. And one
Absolutely.
thing I used to tell, recruits that came in, and I talked to them when I was a recruiter, I used to, when they told me that their mother was against it, their father was against it, because all they believe is if you join, you go to war and you die.
Mm-hmm.
I would always tell them, encourage them to come sit down with me and talk to me. Let me tell them how the military really is, how the Army really is. I'm a parent that had 2 kids join the Army.
Yeah.
So I can relate with them. I can go down on their level and say, this is how it is. It's
True.
not as bad as you think it is. My daughter was human resources. My son fixed Apache helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was infantry. I fought on the front line. I did the dangerous jobs. But all jobs out there are not like that. And
True.
that's the majority of the thing that I run into parents is everybody out in the community is just uneducated about how the military operates.
Absolutely. And adding a little bit more to that is when they put that obstruction in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
I tell them that how about I meet your parents, or if I'm talking to a parent, I tell them how about we all sit down together, and I try to bring my recruiting partner, Stefan Hernandez,
Mm-hmm.
because instead of one person trying to convince, if 2 people talk, 2 people can bring to the table more information, and we can. It gives them a feeling that we are giving them the facts and not just trying to get them in the army and just make our numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about educating
Yes.
and letting people make their own decision. While you've been in the Army, could you tell us a little bit about what your path has been in the Army from your basic training through up to where you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to basic training in about March of 2008.
Okay.
I spent my 10 weeks over there, graduated basic training. I went to advanced training, which is going to be my geospatial intelligence advanced job training, where we learn more about the job. Upon graduating there, I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky for 3rd Brigade 101st Airborne Division. I spent about good 4 to 5 years at Fort Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
I deployed twice to Afghanistan, 12 months each time.
Nice.
And while being deployed, I was near eastern border of Afghanistan, close to Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
We would do all kind of intelligence analysis on the enemy, and we had some good time. 12 months over there, making some good progress over there
Nice.
with our missions over there.
Okay, good.
So after my deployments were done, I transferred to Army Reserves,
Mm-hmm.
where as a civilian, I found a job with Homeland Security. I did that for about 6 months, after which Army asked me if I would like to come on active duty again. And for about 2 years, I worked as a reserve training NCO.
Okay.
I would actually put soldiers, send them to school, put them on a list where if they need some training, I would provide them the training. I would send them to school for whatever MOSs or jobs they picked in the Army. After doing that, I was asked if I would like to recruit, and since then I've been recruiting now.
And how is it for you? Do you enjoy doing it?
I'm enjoying doing it because it keeps me busy every day with, I do conduct a lot of appointments.
Yeah.
There has never been a day where I'm without an appointment, or I'm always busy, I would say, with applicants.
Mm-hmm.
So time goes really fast.
Yeah. I know. It goes really fast. Sometimes you got to work some late nights,
Yeah.
meet up with parents. Sometimes you got to work early mornings, going to
Yeah.
pick people up to take them to the, MEPS
MEPS.
process. Yep, the military processing station. But when you sit down with these parents and you talk to them, and you end up helping guide and mentor and coach their children into a career that is going to better their life, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good, because absolutely satisfying, because I'm able to change somebody's life, just like my recruiter changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they will remember me, that I gave them a direction.
Yeah.
It may happen that they may not serve for 20 long years
Mm-hmm.
to get the retirement, but Army has come with a new blended retirement system, which offers service members who want to serve less than 20 years some retirement benefits, some pension through
Agreed.
thrift saving plans.
Yep.
So I talk about, me personally, have been investing in thrift saving plan,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a good financial investor. So
Good.
I give some financial advice if needed.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be that recruiter who
Sets them up for success.
Absolutely.
Yes. No, that's amazing. Now, I know that everybody has, good and bad experiences in the military. Could you explain to us really what your worst and best experience was while you've been serving in the military?
Talking about worst experience, I would say is I had one NCO who, NCO is a non-commissioned officer who is a sergeant. He was not one of the best NCOs I have come across, so there were a lot of misunderstandings.
Yeah.
And I was always taken in a wrong. My language or the way I talk was probably misunderstood by him.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to be in some sort of trouble with him. But the way I take it as take the same thing, because in civilian side you're going to see a boss
Yeah.
who's going to be the same, or it could be worse.
Exactly.
But in Army, what's the best part is Army does not lay off its service members.
Yeah.
So no, you're going to have a bad day, but you have to go with the whole idea that you are getting paid every day.
Exactly.
There's food on your table.
You're always going to have a job.
Army always encourages you to live within your means.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have like one bad experience, I have 10 good experiences with the Army.
There you go.
And that's what encourages me in the recruiting part.
Mm-hmm.
I talk like absolutely great things about Army, because it comes from my heart. Like it's what Army has made me today. I just talk about all those things.
No, agreed. And one advice I'd give you is, no matter what type of leader you have within your Army career, you can always learn from them. Have it be a good leader or a bad leader. Because if you always have good leaders, you're not going to know what a bad leader looks like.
True.
And you're not going to be able to shape yourself for what not to do as a bad leader.
Absolutely.
So one thing that I always took growing up throughout my Army career is I can learn either way. I can learn what to do from my good leaders, and I'll learn what not to do from my bad leaders.
Absolutely,
So,
I agree with that.
That's one thing that I really go with. Now, one question I want to ask you, and this is kind of a tough question, is what separates you from every other recruiter out there to where these parents watching this show would want to send their kids to come see you and not anybody else?
Jay, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion. I'm not sure how people perceive me, but I feel that I was never cut for the Army. The day I joined the Army or raised my right hand, I thought I was never cut for the Army. So what I tell parents, or I hope they see that in me, that somebody like me, who can do the Army, who can spend 10 years in the Army, so can your child. And Talking about, I believe when I talk, I give a lot of honest opinions. And that has been feedback from a lot of people. When I talk to them, they say, when you talk, we think you talk really honest.
That's good.
Because I talk straight
Yeah.
to your face. So I would say, in my opinion, the one thing that'll separate me from other recruiters is a genuine recruiter
That's
who's
good.
giving
No,
information.
that's a good way to be, is be genuine, upfront, straight, and they know that you're going to take care of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I know you guys have a lot of different benefits throughout the Army, throughout the military as a whole. What would be benefits that separate yourselves, the Army, from any other branch out there? What sticks out to you that's different from everybody else?
Well, I would say Army veteran has been known more to be somebody who's preferred to be hired. I haven't, in my honest opinion, I haven't seen because any other veteran coming from different branches like Marines or Air Force have been spoken so much about than an Army veteran. So it's all about Army veterans. They talk who are preferred people to come with.
A lot of people, when they look at military, because Army is the biggest branch, they look at Army, unless you have some type of history with the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force. You know, when people think military, they usually think Army, unless you do your research. So I can see where that can come from.
Yes.
You know, but within the military, you know, even not coming out, but while they're in the military, what would be something that kind of sticks out throughout the recruiting process that is different from all the other branches?
Well, in my opinion, I think the Army's diversity is really well known than other branches. I think that's one biggest thing what people would like to know about Army. And again, just to add a few more things, Army has various schools, like the Ranger School. We have SEER School, which is Survive, Evade, Resist, Escape. We have Airborne, Air Assault schools, Pathfinder. I don't think any other branches has that many schools.
Well, so I know with Airborne, if other branches do want to go Airborne and become Airborne qualified, they come through our program, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, absolutely. Again, Special Forces and Rangers are only Army. So Marines, they do have their, or
MRSOC.
Navy, they do have the Navy
SEALs, MRSOC, Pararescue for the other branches. So I know all the other branches have their type of, you know, special operation groups, you know, but the things that you really kicked on of all the schools and all the different adventures that they can have throughout the Army, that's a big thing that I've never had anybody bring up on this show.
True.
So that's huge. And I know that, you know, people watching this could see themselves rappelling from a rope, jumping out of an airplane, doing that type of stuff. And that might get them excited to really even just contact and ask information, you know. So with you in the Army right now, you're at 10 years, correct?
I've completed 10 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So where do you see the rest of your military career, your Army career going throughout the rest of your time?
Well, right now I'm liking recruiting from what I'm doing, even though I'm not a career recruiter. I might think of converting to a recruiter's job.
Okay.
We have the recruiter's job, MOS, Military Occupational Specialty, is 79 Romeo.
Yep.
After about a year and a half, I will be asked if I would like to convert, and I might convert the way recruiting has been going on for me. And I could possibly spend the rest of my 10 years serving
the community. I mean, because you're going to be helping them.
And this is the only job that keeps you in contact with the community.
Yeah.
Rest of the jobs you're working on base, where you're just going to be meeting DA civilians, the federal civilians that work with you.
Yeah.
But this is the only job that makes you face to face with civilian people.
I loved it when I did it. You know, it's
You
something
did,
that really stuck out to me. Now, I know you guys do a lot with the community. And I know I know you guys are really involved with high schools. Yes. What are you guys doing right now with the community that people will probably see you out there?
So, Jay, we basically help high school kids with their sporting events.
Okay.
In fact, we had 3 kids come down to our office yesterday asking that if they could borrow 2 recruiters, being the graders for their PT.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Other than that, I would like to add that we recently had a baseball game near Coney Island, and our recruiters were being sent there to hold the flag.
Nice.
We also visited the New York Stock Exchange, where a group of recruiters actually rang the bell at
That's
09.
amazing.
So we are making a lot of activity. We are doing a lot of activities that keep us in contact with the local community.
Yeah.
And most of our recruiters do the right thing. So that reflects and shows when people see us, and maybe that'll generate their wish to join the Army in future.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you guys, your station, the station that you work for, is not here in Staten Island. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, how would they go about doing that?
We have a Facebook page.
Okay.
Bay Ridge Recruiting, Army Bay Ridge Recruiting on Facebook. We have a Twitter handle. We have Instagram. We have our battalion's Facebook page. They regularly update the MOS videos or the job videos. So they could actually search. They could go to these pages and read more about what we do. Also, they could even just make a regular Google search, Army Recruiting at Bay Ridge, and it'll show our number.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the best way. And then they can call there, ask for you, and come and talk with you and really see what the Army has to offer for them.
True. Yes.
Nice. I enjoy that. So if you could give advice if a kid came up to you and asked for your advice on what they wanted to do with their future, what would you tell them? If they said they want to join the military, what would you tell them?
I would definitely tell them to join the Army. Before that, I would like to talk to them, because I just don't want to try to convince them to join the Army. I would like to know what they want to do, what their goals are, because Army offers so much that if somebody wants to do a business, if business is something that they want to do in few years, we offer, the Veteran Affairs offers the business loans. So that's one of the benefits that we offer. And we also do the veteran home loans. So after they serve for a few years or they finish their contract time, they can get these benefits.
Can help them get a house.
Yes.
That's perfect. But I would love to thank you for coming on the show. And in the future, I would like to see if, you guys could come on with some of your future soldiers, talk about what interests them to where they joined. And we can definitely go from there. But thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for inviting me.
Not a problem. And until next time, make sure you thank a veteran.